Welcome to another episode of the Armchair Express NFL podcast powered by the ArmchairAllAmericans.com. I'm your host, Rob Paul. I cover the LA Rams and NFL draft for ArmchairAllAmericans.com. Joining me today is guest AJ Marchese of the Resting the Starters podcast.
Hey, Rob, I am honored to be on your show. And I just want to say it's my first time ever being a guest on any other podcast. So it's a real delight.
And today we'll be doing our big hot 2017 NFL preview show with the season kicking off tomorrow. Let us tell you what to think. We're going to hit every division, devote a minute of our precious time to each team, and we'll finish up with our playoff predictions and award picks. So let's get this started with the AFC South.
The best division.
And the obvious champs, the Tennessee Titans.
Totally agree.
I think with that offensive line, Marcus Mariota, the added weapons at receiver, the offensive firepower they have is just so much more than the rest of the division. Like the Texans are led by Savage, the Jags by Bortles, and the Colts by Scott Tolzien right now.
As of now, yes. I don't think any other team in the division matches up offensively to them, like in any way, really. I think the combo of DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry is better than any other combo in the division right this second.
And even on defense, it's not fantastic, but it's not bad. Brian Arakpo, Derek Morgan, Jarrell Casey. The secondary got better with Jonathan Cyprien, Adoree Jackson. Like in that division, 9-7 should get them to the playoffs, and I think they're very capable of that with Mariota.
Oh, absolutely, totally agree.
And that's a minute. So next up, we have our Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson looked pretty terrible in the preseason. They're going to go with Tom Savage, the uninspiring Pitt grad. The offensive line looks terrible.
Yeah, real step down this year, it appears.
Yeah, like in the preseason, the only plus of Watson was at least he could evade the constant pass rush. And as great as DeAndre Hopkins is, with no one taking shots to him, I just don't think they can compete with the Titans because of their lack of offense, even if they do have maybe the best front seven in football and a very solid secondary.
No Dwayne Brown week 1 too, so that's a big loss for them.
And it kind of went under the radar, but AJ Boye is leaving to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough for them.
Oh, definitely. Like, a favorite of yours, if I recall correctly, Kevin Johnson has to step up for them. On the other side, they still got Jonathan Joseph, the old stalwart there, but absolutely, AJ Boye leaving leaves a hole in their secondary.
And that leads us to Jacksonville, where Boye signed. I think they're going to be better than the Colts this year, just because outside of Andrew Luck, who's injured for maybe even a month, the Colts don't have a whole lot of talents like T.Y. Hilton, Luck. I don't believe in Frank Gore. Rookie running back Marlon Mack might be good, but who really knows?
Yeah.
Ryan Kelly's banged up. Defensively, they're just question marks at every level.
Yeah, we'll see about Malik Hooker. Hopefully they find a stud there, but
he's been banged up and is behind in the playbook and is supposed to be a backup.
So yeah, I think the Jags are definitely in a better position, and as crazy as that is to say, they clearly don't have a franchise quarterback where the Colts do, but he's injured, so
and at least they have something to lean on in a run game now with Leonard Fournette, as long as he's healthy.
And a bunch of talent on the defense. Like that's for sure.
And they do have a bunch of pass catchers. D.D. Westbrook looked fantastic in the preseason.
Really nice preseason, yeah.
Like him, Allen Robinson, Allen Hurts, and Marquise Lee, that's one of the best 4 deep receiver in the NFL, probably.
Absolutely. They just need someone to throw the ball to them.
And that leads us to the Colts.
Oh, we already touched on them quite a bit.
Yeah.
But
they don't seem worth their time. I mean, I don't see them winning more than 6 games this year.
If the Colts played the Jets 16 games in a row without Andrew Luck, who would win more games?
The Jets.
That's saying something.
Like, at least the Jets have Bilal Powell. I don't know.
Yeah, and Leonard Williams, probably maybe the best player on either team.
Not named Andrew Luck, or a named
Yes,
Andrew Luck.
not named Andrew Luck.
Leonard Williams or T.Y. Hilton to start your team.
Leonard Williams.
I agree. All right, let's take this to the easiest division in football, the AFC East.
Mm-hmm.
I
You're
mean,
going with the Dolphins, number one, right?
when you bring Jay Cutler back and you let him smoke as many darts as he wants, you're going to win a handful of football games. But in all seriousness, over under 14 wins for New England this year.
I'll take the push. I got him at 14-2 this year.
Yeah, I'm taking the push as well. I mean, like, even with Edelman going down,
yeah,
they have Brandon Cooks, they have Chris Hogan, they have Gronk, who's healthy for now. They have Dwayne Allen. They just brought in Philly Dorsett.
mm-hmm.
They have a whole bunch of running backs who people have been hyped about. Rex Burkhead, Mike Gillislee. One of those guys is bound to emerge.
Or all of them.
Yeah,
true running back by committee there.
just like even just what like Burkhead's more of a nice out of the backfield option, and Gillislee.
Yeah.
Gillislee had one of the most efficient rushing seasons ever last year in Buffalo.
I think Burkhead's going to be a nice piece for the Patriots.
And on defense, they have one of the best defense in the NFL last year, even if they don't have any statistical studs.
And bringing Stephon Gilmore is a big pickup for them.
Yeah, that secondary is spooky now with Gilmore, Malcolm Butler, and Devin McCourty.
I will say that Brady and the Patriots have struggled over the past couple years without Edelman on the team, but like you said, Brandon Cooks can kind of fill that role, I think.
And who we both agree Miami coming in second in the AFCs with the color.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, when they have some of the best receivers in the league as well. With Devontae Parker, everyone's picked to be a stud this year.
Yeah, after kind of giving up on him a bit, like Kevin White in Chicago and Doxson in Washington, but Parker looks like he's going to be a good player finally.
Yeah, as long as he can stay healthy, and then Jay Ajayi, who we're both high on,
one of our favorite running backs in the league, absolutely.
They really need that offensive line, especially Laramie Tunsil, to step up. Tunsil struggled a lot in the preseason, moving from guard to left tackle. And then
I saw a few good plays from him, though. I know everyone was kind of ragging on him, but I did see some good from Tunsil.
In his defense, it is like his first time playing serious snaps at left tackle in the NFL.
Yes.
And even on defense, that defensive line is pretty nasty. Mm-hmm. They had Sue, they have Cam Wake, they add Charles Harris.
How many wins do you see for them this year?
I still don't think they'll win more than 8. I have them 7-9.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think I'm right around there too.
I don't know. There's a lot of their top corners, Byron Maxwell. Like, there's questions in the secondary. The linebackers their linebacking core is Kiko Alonso, Lawrence Timmons, and Ray Maluga. When Kiko Alonso's significantly better in coverage than your other linebackers.
Yeah.
And this isn't the Kiko Alonso who was dominant as a rookie in Buffalo. This is the Kiko Alonso who's been average at best for the last 3 years.
Yes.
There's a lot of questions there, and the reason I think they go 7-9 is they get to play the Bills and Jets twice.
Yeah.
Speaking of, who's going to tank better, the Bills or the Jets?
This year, it's the Jets that are going to tank better. But overall, I think the Bills trades have set them up pretty nice for the draft next year.
Who wins more than 3 games?
The Bills. Maybe 4 or 5.
Wow, you're high on the Bills.
I wouldn't say high. Like I'd still. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about gambling, but I'd still take the Jets plus the points, especially now that's like 9.5 this week.
It's 9.5.
It moved up last I saw. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Now that Tyrod's slated to play finally. Yeah. People are laying money on the Bills.
It's not good when Jordan Matthews is your number 1 wide receiver.
No.
The Bills offense is gonna be so rough. It's gonna be Tyrod's gonna have to do everything. He's gonna get hurt, and you're gonna lean on Nathan Peterman. And on defense, there's so many questions in the secondary.
Yeah, it's been a crazy roster churn this season from McDermott changing the roster over. Like I don't know how many players, how many Rex Ryan players are even left on the squad.
Yeah, it's a bad bounce, and the Jets look even worse.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
I mean,
they're the worst team in the league.
But picking up Jermaine Kearse for Sheldon Richardson, what a move!
Yeah, I mean, Jermaine's gonna catch balls for them this year, I guess, but
he's not even the most talented. Like Robbie Anderson's gonna be the one, and I think Ardarius Stewart, the rookie from Bama, should play over Jermaine Kearse.
Jermaine Kearse is that guy that's gonna make a big catch on fourth down and then do absolutely nothing the rest of the game.
Man, the Hawks stole Sheldon Richardson. It's a damn shame.
I think, because it's, sorry to quickly go on, it's going to be a late second round pick, hopefully. So I'm a Seahawks fan, quickly, I'll say that. Hopefully, a late second round pick the Jets will be getting back. And then, even if the Seahawks don't resign Sheldon Richardson, they should be getting a third round pick in the 2019 draft. So, as compensation.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. It's just seeing a guy as talented as Sheldon Richardson just wasted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, it's heavy off the field issues, clearly, with Richardson.
Yeah, and playing a 3-tech as an outside linebacker for 2 years.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of him in coverage today, and he didn't look too shabby, to be honest.
For a 300-pound man, he was surprisingly talented in coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Over under 2 wins for the Jets.
Oh man, your totals are really solid so far tonight. I'll take the push.
Chicken. I'll go the under. 1-15.
I respect it. I wanted to, but I chickened out. You called me out, man.
Future home of Josh Allen. All right. The best division in football, the AFC North. I mean, there's no way anyone tops Pittsburgh.
No, not a chance. The rest of the division, clearly the Browns are rebuilding. The Bengals are retooling, I guess you can say. The Ravens, who knows how long Flacco's out, and they're kind of a mess. Defense is solid, but yeah, no one's touching the Steelers this year.
Best wide receiver, best running back, best quarterback, best offensive line in the division.
Yeah. Yep. That's safe to say.
And defensively, they look not what they used to be in the mid-2000s, but at least trending in the right direction.
Actually, quickly to go back, maybe the Browns' offensive line is better.
I give the edge to the Steelers just because we haven't seen this Browns offensive line play together.
Fair enough. Okay, that's fair. But yeah, the Steelers defense is definitely trending upwards after a few dark years there that they didn't look anywhere closer they were in the 2000s, but they're getting better.
They probably shouldn't have thrown 3 years, $27 million at Joe Hayden, who can't play man coverage, and he was like the 4th best corner on the Browns roster when they cut him.
Yeah,
that's
they don't really have any corner talent there.
I don't think he can cover AJ Green or Kenny Britt, so
no, probably not, or Hawkins even.
Okay, over under 12 wins Pittsburgh.
I'll take the under.
Ooh, really?
Oh, my feeling is that the Steelers will inevitably stumble along the way, especially when, not if, Ben Roethlisberger gets nicked up in the season. Yeah, I think that's the main cause, and he's been very bad on the road the last year or two, and I don't know why. So they'll stumble, but they'll still win the division.
All right, who comes in second, Cincy or Baltimore?
Oh, I think this is a tough question. But with the big question mark at quarterback right now for the Ravens, I think I'm going to go with the Bengals, but I'm not high on them really.
No, I think the Ravens' defense is good enough to get them to 8 wins, and
Yeah,
the Bengals' offensive line is bad enough that it will set them back no matter how good AJ Green and rookie Joe Mixon are.
I see them both right about the 8-8, 7-9. Bad bounce 6 and 10 years for both teams.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Browns. I mean, maybe the best draft, maybe the best offseason.
Yeah, I think we both like a lot what we like what they're doing. Like they're taking the right steps and building a legitimate team and naming Deshaun Kaiser the starter week 1. We're both a big fan of that decision, I'm sure.
Front seven's looking nice too. Like they built it the inside out. It's fantastic.
But the curse seems a little bit back on now that the news of Myles Garrett, I believe it's his ankle that's acting up, going for an MRI, may miss some time.
Man, I hope more than anything in this world he is healthy because just watch his preseason tape and he is explosive. He's getting double teamed and
Yeah,
triple teamed as a rookie in the preseason. And
and
his
that would sorry, Rob, and with Garrett, getting double teamed already, he's going to get that. Continue to see that in the regular season, and with how strong and how much potential the Browns' defensive line has, I think like it could really open things up for that defense.
Yeah, I think there's a scenario where the Browns can win 7 games. I don't think they will, but I think it's
But they're just,
possible.
I understand, Kaiser shines, the defense takes that step.
Like the offensive line is top 10. It could be top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Crowell's not a Pro Bowl running back, but he is a good running back.
Yes.
And behind a good offensive line, he could put up some numbers. Like Duke Johnson's a nice piece. Kenny Britt, Corey Coleman. Like, there's a scenario where that offense is a lot better than people think if Kaiser does pan out.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, last division in the AFC, the mighty AFC West. How many of these teams win 8 or more games? No, how many of these teams have winning records when the season's over?
Uh, 2.
Who you got?
The Raiders and the Chiefs. The
Yeah,
Raiders take it.
I
Raiders
think
taking the division and the Chiefs coming in number 2.
I think people are too high on too high on the Raiders and too low on the Chiefs.
Really? I thought you'd be low on the Chiefs.
I have them winning 10 games, but
Okay.
I don't know. People are calling for Alex Smith's job because they saw some gunslinging QB named Patrick Mahomes in the preseason who
Yeah.
plays with zero mechanics, turns down easy completions for mind-boggling throws interceptions he shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But they just see this arm strength and they think he should be playing over Alex Smith, which is
No.
absolutely ridiculous. He's 2 years
Yes.
away from being an NFL starting quarterback.
Absolutely. And I see the Raiders maybe 11-ish wins for them, and yeah, I like 9, 10, 11 for the Chiefs, somewhere in that range.
Just like obviously the Raiders have a top 5 offensive line, one of the
Mm-hmm.
best young quarterbacks in the league.
Absolutely.
Crabtree and Amari Cooper are fantastic. They brought in Jared Cook.
The big
I
question mark with Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, if Marshawn Lynch is even average, you pair him with DeAndre Washington and Jalen Richard, it's just, with the rest of that offense around him, that's not a bad running back group. It's
Yeah.
just the defense has so many holes. That like the front seven outside of Bruce Irvin and Khalil Mack is bad. Like they might be starting 5th round rookie linebacker Markel Lee at middle linebacker.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I did like a lot of the pieces that they brought in the draft this year on defense, though. Your Obi Melanfonwu, your Eddie Vanderdoes.
And Vanderdost
Unfortunately,
is yeah. Obi's going has already been placed on IR.
yes, that hurts.
I don't think it's a good thing that Vanderdost is starting. I think it says more about
Yeah,
how weak the defensive line is than it does about how
Vanderdoes' look.
yeah. And
No,
it
I agree.
in good news for them though, Gary and Conley, their 1st round pick is I believe he's set to play in week 1. after not playing in the preseason. But there's just like, I don't know. I like Carl Joseph. Reggie
Yes.
Nelson is on the downside of his career, but there's just so many holes.
No, there absolutely
And
is.
they're playing maybe the toughest division in the NFL.
Yeah, but the two games against the Broncos, that offense isn't going to scare you.
No, that's fair. But
Philip Rivers is always dangerous.
I just like people think Derek Carr's an MVP pick this year, and Oakland can go to the AFC Championship. Like the talent drop off from New England and Pittsburgh's rosters to Oakland, I think is massive.
I don't disagree, but I am one of those people that see Carr as a potential MVP candidate and the Raiders as a potential AFC Championship game participant. Not champion, though.
And then for the Chiefs, same old, same old. They have a consistent quarterback, good offensive line. Kareem Hunt looks like a potentially good rookie running back.
Absolutely.
Tyreek Hill looks like a game breaker.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they use him this year.
And then on defense, healthy Justin Houston. D Ford's kind of come into his own.
Yeah.
Still have Eric Berry. They have
Who?
what's his name? The defensive tackle for Mississippi State.
Chris Jones.
Yes, Chris Jones had one of the best rookie years among defensive linemen. Like the defense is still like people want them to start Mahomes. If they start Mahomes, they're winning like 5 games, maybe.
Yeah,
Like
it's too many mistakes.
they barely implemented a real NFL offense for him in the preseason, so I
Like
don't think you trust that.
The keys to the Chiefs' success over the last how many years? 4 years now, I guess, has been not to turn the ball over and play good defense. And Alex Smith is kind of like the prototype guy. He's not going to make the big play for you, but he's going to make smart decisions.
Exactly. If the LA Chargers stay healthy, and I mean, Mike Williams is already hurt, and
it's a monstrous if, yeah.
Yeah, Forrest Lamp's already out for the season.
Yeah.
Can they be a playoff team?
Yeah. The division's tough, but I think we're both big Chargers fans, like of how the roster is set up, and it's just the injury bug that just keeps getting them and really ruining their seasons. But no, I think they're a potential playoff team if they're healthy.
Yeah, I flip-flopped on this a lot, and I ended up having them as my second wildcard team for the AFC playoff this year.
Really?
And it's just their offense has a lot of weapons. I know the offensive line is a question, but Philip Rivers does a good job making up for the offensive line. The defense is so nasty. Like Joey Bosa had one of the greatest rookie seasons a pass rusher has ever had. Melvin Ingram,
so
he's a Pro Bowl talent.
Oh, absolutely.
Desmond King, their 5th-round rookie, has had a phenomenal preseason. They have Casey Hayward, who led the league in interceptions. Jason Verrett's back healthy. Like the defense is a top 10 defense.
Do you think the running game's a question?
Because of the offensive line, or do I not believe in Melvin Gordon?
Bit of both.
I believe in Melvin Gordon after missing on him in the draft process and thinking he was a system back. I think what Gordon is very good between the tackles and a very good pass catcher. He helped make up for the offensive line a lot last year. I know he only averaged something like 3.9 yards per carry, but that had a lot more to do with the offensive line than it did with him.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Like a lot of people seem really down on Melvin Gordon this season, because after the rookie season having no touchdowns and then last year I believe 12, people were like, oh, something in between, the law of averages. But I liked what I saw from him in the preseason. It looks very explosive. So I agree with you. I think I'm a Melvin Gordon fan.
And then I guess we both think Denver, bottom of the division.
Yeah, I guess.
John Elway's an overrated GM.
I totally agree. I got your back here, Rob.
They're starting a backup quarterback, but they have 3 NFL backup quarterbacks on their roster, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know how much they're gonna. I'm not a big CJ Anderson fan. The
Me
offensive
either.
line, not good.
Uh, I I don't think Demarius Thomas has been
Yeah, he's kind of over the hill now.
like he's more name than
Yeah,
player these days.
and
Like
it's a guy I used to love him.
he struggled with drops and like
Mhm.
him and Simeon didn't seem to have a lot of chemistry. Um,
Sa- Emmanuel Sanders still producing, but
yeah, Sanders was better than Demarius Thomas last year.
yeah,
The offensive line is horrific. I would be like I don't know how that offense is going to work. You have a quarterback in Simeon who's kind of he's got a solid arm, but he's a backup quarterback at best. You got to run a lot of short throws with him, and the
yeah,
offensive line can't afford any time.
no,
If like neither of us really believe in CJ Anderson, you're not going to run the ball well. And even on defense, they have they stopped the pass really well, but they were terrible against the run last year.
yeah.
Shane
The defense is taking steps back too. I think.
like Shane Ray's on IR. Shaq
Mhm.
Barrett's been banged up. They still have Von Miller, who's phenomenal. He's one of the three best defensive players in the league. But
Of course.
and they just cut T.J. Ward, which in theory made sense. But they have an aging Aqib Talib and Chris Harris and Von
Yeah.
Miller. That's kind of like the,
I mean,
the
Von's still in his prime, but
and there's yeah, oh for sure he's still one of the three best. But and they're switching to a 4-3, so the defense is changing.
mhm.
I don't know. I don't think that defense is as good as it was, and with the change and the coaching change, there's a lot of moving pieces from
Yeah.
the Broncos that won the Super Bowl to now.
Oh no, definitely. This is not the Super Bowl 50 Broncos on
Yeah,
defense.
and especially like Wade Phillips leaving is going to affect that a ton. He's maybe the best defensive coordinator in NFL history.
Yeah, it's a bold statement, but it's possible.
All right, let's move to the NFC.
The
Let's
best
uh
conference.
let's attack the NFC South. Do the Falcons have a Super Bowl hangover?
I'm on board with that train, man. I mean, I get how easy it is to jump on, but and I know we differ in this opinion just from talking to each other, but that's a tough that's tough to get over. And Matt Ryan had one of the greatest years ever, and he won't repeat that. Like he has no chance to. I mean, the it's still really talented, but I'm sorry, the offense is still really talented, but I think it's a big hurdle to get over.
So you don't think they'll win the NFC South?
I do not.
Damn man, I just think that defense. Dan Quinn's really assembled a, a good athletic group on like
I
every
agree.
level. They have a stud on every level. Pass rush, they have Vic Beasley.
Mhm.
Linebacker, they have Deion Jones, and in the secondary, Keanu O'Neal, and those are all young guys. They
I
also
don't
have
disagree.
a lot of pieces around those guys. We both love Greedy Jarrett.
Hmm.
I love the Duke Riley pick.
Yeah, that's nice.
They have a lot of depth at corner and led by Desmond Trufant.
Him being back healthy is big for them.
Like that's a up and coming defense, and
I
I I
totally
get
agree.
I get how much Shanahan leaving hurts that offense, but at the end of the day, they still have Julio Jones, maybe the best duo of running backs in Tevin Coleman and Devonta Freeman.
Yeah,
Matt Ryan coming off the best season of his career, a solid enough offensive line, up and coming Austin Hooper, like Mostinu and Taylor Gabriel are pretty good secondary options. Like there's a lot of offensive firepower and speed on the defense. It's a good division, but I think from top to bottom, their roster, it's the most. I don't know what the word is. I guess even
talented.
on well,
Okay,
I don't want to say just like on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball because Tampa
they
has
don't
a
have
lot
as
of offensive
holes.
power.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Panthers a lot of defense. New Orleans a lot of offense.
I mean, I totally agree that I like the way they're building this Atlanta Falcons defense. and of course they're very talented. But I think this is the year that it's a step back. Maybe I'm still like I still see them winning nine games, but a bit of a step back this year and then a big leap again next year. I don't I believe in the Dan Quinn and I believe in the way they're building this team. I think it's just this year the hangover brings them down a bit.
So you're buying into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm buying into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, I'm buying into Jameis Winston especially.
It's that offense, despite maybe not having a running game or an offensive line, it's pretty exciting that Deshaun Jackson, Mike Evans, OJ Howard, like Chris Godwin, there's a lot of talent there, a lot of pass catching.
And Cameron Brate.
I just don't think. I think Jameis is going to throw too many interceptions to get allow them to sneak into the playoffs.
I mean, they almost did it last year, and that was 9-7 to finish, correct?
Yeah, I just think that there's so much talent in the NFC.
I don't disagree, but if they win the division, they're in the playoffs. And with me thinking Atlanta takes a step back and Tampa takes a bit of a step forward, even if they win one more game in my projections, they're winning the division. So if they go 10-6, they win the division in my opinion.
And okay, Saints and Panthers, who finished at the bottom?
Saints.
Yeah, it's just so many ifs on the defense, a lot of young guys, but even the top defensive draft picks who I liked the Marshawn Lattimore pick, I like the Alex Anzalone pick. Both those guys have a lot of injury history.
Mm-hmm.
Those are big ifs. And on offense, I don't believe in Adrian Peterson. Do you?
Absolutely not.
Like, if I set the over under 800 rushing yards for Adrian Peterson, would you take me?
I'd take the under.
I think I would too.
I mean, I did like their draft a lot. I think their draft was a big step towards building their team for the future, and it helps them a lot. But I'm not buying into the preseason defense because, of course, it's the preseason and it's the Saints defense that's been so bad for so long.
It's just
Drew Brees only getting older. Yeah.
I just don't really get the Adrian Peterson pickup because, in all honesty, I think I'd rather have Mark Ingram Mark Ingram as your lead back and Alvin Kamara playing more than he would as the third back.
No, absolutely, and he really looked good in the preseason.
And he fits the mold of the pass catching kind of more elusive, explosive. Yeah, he's Darren Sproulsy but bigger.
Yes.
Like I don't know if there's a better landing spot for his skill set than New Orleans.
And I know you're a big Alvin Kamara fan coming out of Tennessee.
First round grade, baby.
Yeah, a lot, but they still got lots of questions.
Will the Panthers ever return to their Super Bowl form?
Well, you know how I feel about a particular Panther.
You hate Cam Newton.
So I'm going to say no, they don't return to the Super Bowl form. That defense has really been up and down, season to season. One year they're great, one year they're bad. It's quite strange to me.
And now Luke Kuechly has serious injury issues.
Yes, but they looked good this preseason. I will say that. I like them more than I liked them entering last year. But it's still, an 8-win team to me.
And they still don't. Not that they did before, but they haven't had a legitimate 10, 12 sack pass rusher since Julius Peppers.
No, yeah, that's true.
They have a lot of talent on the interior of their D-line with Kawan Short, Star Lutulele, and Vernon Butler, but like Mario Addison is their top edge defender. I love their linebackers. The safety play's always been a question. Young corners. I don't see them winning more than 8 games, mainly because although I think Christian McCaffrey was a great pickup, the offensive line's not going to be able to keep Cam. I'm not saying he'll miss time, but he's not going to be healthy for 16 games.
The offensive line looked better in the preseason though. So but I think that is definitely the big key to their season is the offensive line. If it plays better, then they can reach the 8 wins. If not, then you're right. Cam's shoulder's already bummed. That's a question. The running game will fall apart, and it's huge for them.
All right, now that we know Ezekiel Elliott's gonna play Week 1 and then serve a 6-game suspension, can the Cowboys win the NFC East?
Can they or will they?
Can they?
They can, but I think I'll pick the Giants.
I don't think they can.
No, not at all. Oh, you're super high on the Giants.
I am super high on the Giants. I think that defense is one of the 5 best.
I agree.
They have tons of pass catchers. I know their offensive line's a question. Eli isn't what he used to be, even though what he used to be wasn't all that great. And there's questions about running back. I just think that defense in that division is it's too good. And especially if Dallas doesn't have Zeke if Ezekiel Elliott wasn't suspended, I think Dallas wins this division, but that Giants defensive line and secondary are two of the best at their respective spots.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Giants win the division. I don't like Eli Manning in the least. I wish they had a stud running back for him to lean on or an offensive line that could protect him because in his old age now, I'll say, he really needs that to lean on. Luckily, he can throw slants to Odell all day and he can break them for 75 yards and go for a TD, but it's just I don't like leaning on Eli Manning.
Yeah, Dallas's defense is really questionable.
It is. It is.
Their top corner might be Anthony Brown. Sean Lee's a good player, sure, but they just lost Anthony Hitchens for some time. They don't have a pass rusher. I don't believe in Taco Charlton.
I think he'll never be that consistent 10-plus sack guy, but he can be a consistent contributor as a pass rusher.
All right, who finishes higher, Philly or Washington?
I'll go with the Eagles.
I think the difference is their defensive line in particular is so talented.
Mm-hmm. I think that's
They have what 4 guys on their defensive line, 5 guys on their defensive line who could be 7 sacks or more type players.
Yeah, they do.
The depth is insane. They have good linebackers in Bradham, Kendricks, and Jordan Hicks. Secondaries,
not big names, but they get the job done. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all very good in coverage. And the secondary's got a lot of questions, but I think with a defensive line like theirs, it can help make up for it.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the Eagles because I don't think Doug Peterson's an NFL head coach, and I don't think Carson Wentz is a good quarterback.
You're one of the few, I think. I mean, I'm not as high on Carson Wentz as the masses are, but I think he's got the it factor, and I don't see him being a Super Bowl champion quarterback, but I see him like a playoff caliber quarterback.
That throwing motion is so Blake Bortlesy. He's not accurate. I get it. He's big. He's got a big arm. That doesn't make him a good quarterback, though. I don't see what people see, and
I get it.
I mean, every anonymous GM says they'd start their NFL franchise with him, so I'm sure I'll end up being wrong. It's just I don't see it.
No, I understand. Like I said, I'm not as high on him as most people are, but you compare him to Blake Bortles, but Bortles doesn't have the it factor that Wentz already seems to have. I've never seen Wentz throw an interception off a foot, and that's a big step for him.
Does Kirk Cousins have that factor? How does Washington do with their offensive losses and no GM and God, what a mess?
I like Kirk Cousins a lot, but it's quite a mess there in Washington.
I don't think you can run a franchise more poorly than Washington.
Yeah.
You have a franchise quarterback and you just keep tagging him, so you're spending more on him from a season-to-season basis than you would. You're not locking him up. You're upsetting him. Then he's just going to leave.
And the more they delay paying Kirk, the more they have to pay him if they want to.
Yes, and
because Stafford just broke the contract record, so Kirk's going to be pushing that for sure.
And then they lost. We both love Jamison Crowder, but they lost their number 1 and number 2 wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Reed doesn't stay healthy.
Yeah, that's a big question. If Jordan Reed stays healthy, that's big for them.
And their defense is. I like drafting John Allen. I thought that was fantastic value in drafting him in the teens. And they brought in linebacker Zach Brown from Buffalo, but
always a decent contributor, but never a stud.
In the secondary's got a lot of questions. Sway Cravens may or may not be retiring. We're not really sure. Like there's just I don't know, lots of distractions, lots of questions. I don't see them winning more than 6 games.
I can maybe 6 or 7, but I will say this: Jamison Crowder getting more targets is definitely not a bad thing.
Oh, for sure not. He should be a breakout player.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do the Packers reign champs of the North?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not as high on the Packers as people are, and I'm not as high on Aaron Rodgers as people are, but he's still a great quarterback. That defense, I'm not a fan of. It's pretty weak as a group. Jordy Nelson's getting older. Randall Cobb's regressed, but I can see him still being productive. I don't believe in Devontae Adams. I don't know if I like Ty Montgomery yet, really. I mean, I like him, but I don't know. And Mike McCarthy is not a good coach. So, but yes, they're still the best team in the division.
And to just remind everyone, Clay Matthews is not a good football player anymore. So
no, absolutely not.
They tried to address the secondary issues in the draft. Drafted Kevin King in the second round, Josh Jones, but both of those guys are somewhat of projects. Yeah. And there's just the corner spot in particular is such a huge hole for them.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky for them, they play in a division with Sam Bradford and Mike Glennon as 2 of the starting quarterbacks. But I don't know. I think they'll win the division, but again, I agree. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I don't think Jordy Nelson's the same as he was before the knee. Ty Montgomery seems to be fairly injury prone. I'm glad I drafted him in the 3rd round of my fantasy league. I don't know. Devontae Adams isn't very good. He's the product of playing with Aaron Rodgers more than anything. I liked bringing in Marty Bennett, but
we'll see.
Yeah, like I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender, but I think they win that division.
Totally.
Even though the Vikings have one of my favorite defenses in the NFL.
Are the Vikings coming in number 2 in the division?
Yeah, with ease.
Yeah, you don't believe in the Lions, eh?
No, I think they have good offensive Jim Bob Cooter and Terrell Austin are good coordinators, but I don't think Jim Caldwell should be an NFL head coach.
Totally agree.
No offensive line, no running game, and the defense the defense was last in DVOA last year.
Yeah, it's not good, and they didn't help the defense much at all.
No, like I like Stafford. I think signing him to that contract was, I mean, on paper it seems crazy to think Matthew Stafford's the highest paid quarterback highest paid player in NFL history, but it's just the way the paying the position is going. So
of course,
in a year he won't be, so don't get caught up in that. But no, I mean, the Vikings, I think, are in good shape. The offensive line looks better. Dalvin Cook looks like a stud. Good receiving core with Diggs and Thielen. Solid tight end Kyle Rudolph. I like Sam Bradford more than most people. But
I'm not a Sam Bradford fan.
I think he's a top 12, top 15 quarterback, which is better than most.
All right.
And then on defense, Harrison Smith, Danielle Hunter, Everson Griffin. Like, they have guys everywhere. Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr.
It's the best defense in the division, that's for sure.
The best coach team in the division, too.
Yeah, I think Mike Zimmer is the best head coach in the division.
And I don't think it's close.
No, me either, because both of us are not Mike McCarthy fans.
No, and I don't think anyone's a fan of Jim Caldwell.
No. Or maybe some John Fox fans, but
yeah, like us. OG Panthers fans really like John Fox. They're gonna die on a hill for him.
I think Wasim Muhammad's a big John Fox guy.
Yeah, so I mean, the Bears would be last in that division because they're going to be stubborn with benching Glennon for Trubisky.
Yeah, and I liked what I saw in Trubisky in the preseason a lot more than I anticipated too.
I wasn't a Trubisky guy during the draft process, and he was easily the best rookie quarterback in the preseason. And if you think of it, like, the Bears are in a good situation for a rookie quarterback to come into. I mean,
not really any pass catchers.
I was gonna say, maybe not like the greatest pass catching group, but they have one of the best interior offensive lines in the league. They have 3 potential Pro Bowlers on the interior of their offensive line. Yeah. They have a Pro Bowl running back.
High potential backup running back there in Tariq Cohen.
And on defense, their front 7 is better than probably half the league. Like, it's
middle of the pack, sure.
They're not as bad as I think people think, but they will be that bad if they continue to blindly start Mike Glennon.
Yeah, the secondary is not very good, but
no, but I don't know. Like, they could win 2 games if Mike Glennon starts the entire year, and I think if they start Trubisky the entire year, they could win 5 games.
I totally agree with that.
All right, your favorite division, the NFC West.
Our favorite division, Mr. LA Rams.
Our favorite division.
Thank you.
do the LA Rams win the division?
Yeah, absolutely, they do.
Do they do it at 7 and 9?
It's been done before.
What a time to be alive! And the NFC West was at its peak.
Those big Rams Seahawks matchups for the crown. Anyways, no, the Seahawks won the division easily.
Yeah, I'm high on the Cardinals, but I'm not. Even with one of the worst offensive lines in football, Seattle wins the division easily.
I mean, the Sheldon Richardson pickup is just huge for them. I think the one thing they've been missing since the 2013 Super Bowl champion team is that force on the inside and the ability to rush the passer from the interior. And Sheldon Richardson gives them just that. I know they didn't have a monster there, but, McDonald was pretty solid, and Red Bryant was still back there. Anyways, I still live in 2013. That was the best year of my life. But Sheldon brings a huge impact to that defense, and especially with all the talent they have on the edge. Like, they have 3 10-sack guys. And
on passing downs, they can play. This would be their starting defensive line on passing downs. On the edge, Frank Clark.
That's what they call it.
That makes me hate them. So, but on the edge, they can play Frank Clark and Cliff Averill, and then on the interior, Bennett and Richardson. That's insane.
Yep. Oh, I don't think there's a better foursome on pass rushing downs.
I don't think so either, because if Philly has the second best defensive line, I'd take that. I'd take Seattle over them.
Yeah, I agree.
Bobby
and KJ are still great linebackers.
Oh, do you know them? You're on a first name basis with them?
Look, I'm sure you call Le'Veon Bell Lev, so.
Yeah, Lev Bell.
And I'm sure you call Jared Goff J-Bone.
You got that right.
But yeah, the defense is set. Offensively, the offensive line's a question, but Russell Wilson's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and I'm sure they'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, Earl Thomas is back healthy. That's the best defense in football. I would say Probably Seattle and then the New York Giants are the top two defenses in football.
I would tend to agree.
Okay, I'm higher on the Cardinals than a lot of people. I think they're a playoff team.
I don't.
What do you think
Oh,
their ceiling is with wins?
ceiling?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
If
mathematically, 16-0, but
wow,
I
you
don't.
heard it here first, people.
Absolute ceiling for me is 9 wins.
Okay. Well, I have them
I'm
going
not.
10-6.
I don't like Carson Palmer. He seems to be regressing heavily. I know he was a little bit better in the second half of last season, but not only is his body breaking down like it always has, but he seems to just be making poor decisions. David Johnson's the best running back in the NFL to me, and they can lean on him heavily. The offensive line's, I guess, better, but it's still not good. Defensively, they're worse, but they brought in two nice young pieces in Buda Baker and Hassan Reddick. But losing
They're,
Tony Jefferson is big.
Robert Condici looked fantastic in the preseason. I think that's worth noting. Um,
Eh,
I think that defense is top 7 at worst.
I don't know. I don't think I'm as high on them as you are.
And on offense, like you said, Carson Palmer looked
Collective.
better down the stretch last year. They have the best or second best running back in football. The offensive line's gonna be better with Jared Veld here healthy. Um, they they need John Brown, I think,
Yeah.
to get back to what he was, to kind of open up that offense a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. When you play the Rams and the 49ers twice, that's 4 wins. 4 free wins.
Yeah.
And you have
And
to
then
go. You just have to go 500 to hit 10.
they'll tie the Seahawks, so it's all good.
Yeah, 9-6-1.
I think losing Calais Campbell is huge for that defense, though, too.
I think so too. But the way Kim Deechee's looked, not saying he'll ever be anywhere near. Calais Campbell should be a Hall of Famer, but Pro
Yeah.
Bowls.
Yes.
Kim Deechee looks like he'll be not what Calais Campbell was, but at least half that, which is still pretty dang good.
I need to see it to believe it.
All right, Rams or 49ers? Who's coming in third in the division?
I'll take the. I I was about to say Rams, but if Aaron Donald's on the Rams, I take them. But he's hurting right now. What do you think, Rams or Niners?
I think the Rams. I think Aaron Donald's going to come back for week 2.
Hopefully, I mean,
They need it. I don't know. Les
yeah.
needs paying Tavon Austin like $15 million this year, but refuses to pay Aaron Donald. So I don't know. Les Snead should be fired. I do like what he did with the coaching staff, but come on,
Yeah, me
too many
too.
chances.
That is one thing that they have two good coaches there now with Sean McVay and Wade Phillips. But
Yeah,
transitioning to the 3-4, it might take a little while. I'm not sure.
I think bringing in Connor Barwin was a smart move. The guy who's
Yeah.
played for Wade Phillips, Robert Quinn, I think will fit the 3-4 better than he did the 4-3. The big thing is that defensive line looked like it was going to be pretty legit. Then they lost Dominic Easley to a torn ACL, and then Aaron Donald's holding out. So there's a lot of questions there, and the secondary is a bigger question, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Offensively, I need to see it from Jared Goff. I don't believe in him really,
And
but he looked.
and
Go ahead,
and
sorry.
just with Goff, at least now, like last year, he was awful, but he wasn't
Yeah.
really given any opportunity. At least now they're all in on finding out if he's good by they bring in Andrew Whitworth. They upgrade the offensive line with one of the best left tackles in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They sign Robert Woods, who I mean, he isn't great, but he's a solid number 2.
Mm-hmm.
They make the trade for Sammy Watkins, who's a legit number 1 wide receiver. They draft Cooper Kupp, who looks like a starting NFL slot. They draft Gerald
Yep.
Everett at tight end. Like they're giving him every opportunity they can
Yes.
to
Yeah. That's
succeed.
that. Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of hiring Sean McVay as head coach had to do with bringing in a guy who they believe can make Goff a true franchise quarterback.
Yeah, no, I agree. They're taking the right steps.
And the 49ers are as well by hiring Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, another team that had a really nice draft.
Maybe the best draft. I would say them
The Brownies.
in Cleveland were probably my two favorite drafts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they bring in Shanahan, they bring in John Lynch as GM. Everyone questions it. Then he goes and has this phenomenal draft where he gets Solomon Thomas and Reuben Foster. So two of the five best players in the draft. And then with his later picks, he drafts guys who a lot of people tend to believe in. Slot receiver Trent Taylor, running back Joe Williams, corner Ahkello Weatherspoon, who has a lot of high upside.
Yeah.
I don't know. And even in the preseason, like Brian Hoyer looked good running this offense in the preseason.
He did, yeah. I mean, of
Shanahan's
course, he's not your long term option there at
no,
quarterback, but
not when you have C.J. Beathard. That was the downfall of the 49ers draft. That was the only pick I didn't like.
I totally agree. I like it. I like getting his tight end though, George Kittle.
Yeah, George Kittle showed enough and will be starting for them that they could trade Vance McDonald.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the 49ers and the Rams are both on the upswing. I don't think either's going to win even six games.
No,
But
me either.
but I think at least they're both trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
They're not the New York Jets or the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's just rapid fire these our playoff seeding.
Okay.
All right, you ready to do some AFC?
Sure.
All right. Who's your one seed?
Patriots.
Me too. Who's your two seed?
Steelers.
Me too. Who's your three seed?
Raiders.
Me too. Who's your four seed?
Titans.
Me too. The AFC is, I think, a lot more not, yeah, predictable. Who's your five seed?
The Chiefs.
Me too. Who's your six seed?
Um,
This is where we'll differ.
I gotta think for a second. I don't know, man. Maybe the Texans sneak in.
Fair enough. I got the Chargers. I think there you can go. You could go Texans. You could go Chargers. Maybe go Ravens.
Maybe the Dolphins. I don't know.
Yeah, if you get good Cutler, which is
Huge question mark. Yeah.
you don't know if good Cutler exists.
Yeah.
I think the NFC playoff picture is a lot more interesting, at least right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who's your one seed?
Seattle.
I've got the Giants. Who's your two seed?
Um, I'll say the Packers.
I got the Falcons. Who's your three seed?
The Giants.
I got the Packers. Four seed?
Tampa.
I got Seattle. Wild card, five seed?
Um, See, now these ones I have to actually think about. uh, the Cowboys, I guess.
Yeah, same. And who's your six seed?
I guess Atlanta.
I got the Cardinals.
Okay.
How do you have the AFC Championship playing out?
I know today it's changing for me. I put the Steelers at number 2. That means I see the Raiders coming into Heinz Field, and the Steelers win that game and have to go to Foxborough and take on the New England Patriots. So that's
And,
Pittsburgh Patriots.
and who you have in the NFC Championship?
the Green Bay Packers going to Seattle.
All right. I have the Patriots and the Steelers in the AFC Championship. I have the Hawks and the Falcons in the NFC Championship. Give me your Super Bowl prediction.
Well, I have to be a homer, and I want the rematch for Super Bowl 49. So I'm going to say the Seahawks and the Patriots. Do I have to make a pick, Mr. Rob?
I'd like you to.
Okay, then I have to take the Seahawks over the Patriots.
All right. I have New England over Seattle.
Ugh.
I think those are the safest bets in the
Yeah.
AFC and NFC are New England and Seattle.
Yes, I agree.
Other than that, I don't know. I hope for a Giants Steelers Super Bowl, but
I wouldn't mind a Seahawks Steelers Super Bowl.
all right. Let's wrap this up with our NFL awards. Who's your MVP?
I'm going to go bold. I'm going to take Derek Carr.
It's a bad choice. I'm going to go obvious. I'll take Brady. Who you got as Offensive Player of the Year?
I'll go with Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady is probably the real MVP, but I guess it's not tough to keep giving it to him or, give it to him. But I like to see someone else win it. But I think Tom Brady is the best player on offense.
I have Lev Bell.
Fair enough.
Hit me with your Defensive Player.
Oh, another homer pick for me. I'm going to go with Earl Thomas and quickly explain myself. I know he's not the statistician. That's not how you use that word, but I'm using it now. I know it's not a big stat grabber, but he's flew around in the preseason. He looks like he's back at full speed. He's hitting hard. And I think it's kind of a culminative award for his career and for a great Seahawks season.
And he's the most important piece to the most important defense.
Absolutely.
Or the best defense. Yep. I'll double down on our safety here. I'll go with Landon Collins. I just think that Giants defense is going to carry them to the 1 seed in the NFC, and he's the best player on it. All right. Even more bigger shots in the dark here. Who's your Offensive Rookie of the Year?
I'm going to go Dalvin Cook, and I think it's because he's in the best situation of the rookie running backs. Jonathan Stewart's probably going to steal carries away from Christian McCaffrey. I don't think Latavius Murray is a threat to Dalvin Cook. The Vikings offensive line looks good. They're going to throw it to him. They're going to hand the ball off to him a lot, and I think he's going to have a good year this year.
Yeah, I'm going with Joe Mixon. I think he was the best running back in the preseason, and he's the best. He's maybe the best pass catching running back in the rookie class. I know there's Christian McCaffrey, but Mixon is that good.
I just worry about the Bengals bungling it.
Yeah, he's listed as their third string running back right now when he's the best runner on that team. So we'll see. But I feel like if given the opportunity, he should win it. Who's your Defensive Rookie of the Year?
I'm gonna go Derek Barnett from the Eagles, and I think because of how good the Eagles' defensive line is, he's not going to see any double teams, and he showed how good he is in the preseason, especially with Myles Garrett being out now. I think Barnett's the second choice, maybe Reuben Foster number 3. But I can see Derek Barnett putting up 10 sacks this year.
Yeah, he's gonna have a lot of one-on-one opportunities. I'm going with Reuben Foster, the linebacker for the 49ers. He's a tackling machine, sideline to sideline guy, and a big time thumper. He's also very good in coverage. Kind of does it all. I think he's like, as long as he's healthy, I think he'll put up big numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing we both have J.J. Watt as Comeback Player of the Year.
We do, and Walter Payton Man of the Year award too, I think.
Yeah, well, both are pretty much locked up right now as long as J.J.'s healthy.
Yes.
Coach of the Year.
I'm gonna go with Dirk Cutter. I see the Bucks winning the division. I see their offensive being great, and because Cutter's offensive coach, you're gonna give it to him. And this award usually goes to a guy that brings his team to the playoffs. It doesn't go to the Pete Carrolls, the Bill Belichick's, the Andy Reid's, the whatever, Mike Tomlins.
Yeah.
So instead of giving it to Ron Rivera and Bruce Arians all the time, let's go with Dirk Cutter.
Yeah, you said it best. The head coach of the year doesn't go to the best head coach. It goes to the guy who helped his team take the next step and reach the playoffs usually.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why I'll land with Mike Mularkey, the Titans head coach. I think the Titans finally make the playoffs, and he's been surprisingly not vanilla as an offensive mind, and
Yeah.
he's made that offense really exciting and makes it all go. I don't know.
Really fun to watch.
I hated Mike Mularkey when he was hired, and
me
now
too.
I find myself liking him. So, just give them a head coach of the year. Well, that does it for us at the Armchair Express. Thanks for listening. Join us this NFL season as we tackle more topics. Follow us at AC All Americans on Twitter and Armchair NFL on Twitter. Go check out the website, armchairallamericans.com. Thanks for joining me, AJ.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Rob. It was a pleasure.
And we'll see you next time, guys.